By the way, maybe you can't, with your new tax refund, afford a new car. You could afford a paint job. Maaco, M-A-A-C-O, Maaco. Today, get your dream paint job during tax season sales event. Joy, I hope you get a tax refund. Are you going to get a big tax refund there?
I wouldn't say big.
Okay. All right. Laker season ticket holders would like a refund, speaking of that. So Magic Johnson resigned last night, president of the Lakers. Exit interviews today. Luke's not talking. Pelinka's not talking. Jeannie's not talking. LeBron's not talking. We're talking. Nice to have you in. Nick Wright in about 5-10 minutes. This happens to people a lot in life. Businesses, people, all sorts of times. It's called a fork in the road moment. You can go left. You can go right. And my opinion's always been, whatever way you go hard, and you don't look back. I've done it multiple times in my life. You get a fork in the road. Stay with this company, go to a new one. Go hard and go all in. But pick a lane. Don't split it. The Lakers are at the fork in the road time in their franchise history. Now, the Celtics had this. Remember, they had an old KG and an old Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen moved to Miami. And they said, let's just get rid of them. They trade them all to Brooklyn, get a bunch of draft picks, trade Doc Rivers, get Brad Stevens, fork in the road. They went total rebuild. Clippers had this opportunity years ago. Lob City, Blake, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan. They wanted draft picks. They wanted more free agent mobility. They moved on. Remember the Warriors a couple years ago, the current NBA dynasty? Chris Mullins' jersey retirement ceremony. The new Warrior owner, Joe Lacob, got booed by the fans who were upset. They chose young Steph Curry as the future and not the all-star Monte Ellis. Do you remember this was Rick Barry? Remember that night?
Show a little bit of class. This is a man that I've spent some time talking to. He is going to change this franchise. Come on, you're doing yourself a disservice. All of the wonderful accolades being said to you, for you to treat this man who is spending his money to do the best that he can to turn this franchise around, and I know he's going to do it. So give him the respect he deserves.
And that man did it. Fans are generally wrong on that stuff. Steph Curry was the right choice. Not the really talented Monte Ellis, who sort of disappeared after that. And the Clippers, by the way, were right to do what they did. They weren't going anywhere with Lob City. DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin were overpaid. Chris Paul needed better teammates. And by the way, the Celtics were right to get rid of their stars too. In all three cases, they moved off the All-Stars to rebuild, and they were all right. Celtics, Clippers, Warriors, they were all right. So the Lakers now have two choices. Here's the fork in the road. A, just turn the team over to LeBron. Hire Ty Lue or Mark Jackson. He's represented by Clutch Sports. Hire David Griffin as a GM, formerly in Cleveland. LeBron always liked him. Go hard after Kyrie Irving, who LeBron's played with, and give up all the young assets and go get Anthony Davis. That's left. You can go left and do that. Or you can go right and actually, build a team, build a new culture. Keep your young guys, have a plan, stick with it, because you bounced around in your plan multiple times. You had a plan, then you re-signed Kobe for 2, and then you had a plan and you brought LeBron in, a different plan. Or you can build a new plan and look for younger free agents and not necessarily max guys. And this would involve trading LeBron. What? Work for the Clippers, work for the Warriors, work for the Celtics. Are you saying, Colin, they should trade LeBron? I'm saying it is fork in the road time. What would I do? I'd sit and I'd think about it for a few weeks. And then I would fly my corporate jet. You can do that when you own a team. And I'd go to teams and I'd sit down and I'd meet in private places. And I'd see what I could get for LeBron. And I would listen to all the offers. Because I still think LeBron's going to come back next year and be great. But if he suffers one more major injury, oh my, this is an utter disaster. Fork in the road time. You have to look long and hard at yourself. Fork is build it all around LeBron, go all in on him. Or consider trading him and see what you can get. I'm not telling you which one's the right one. But I am telling you, if I ran the Lakers, I'd make calls. I'd listen to offers. I'd see if there's a Brooklyn out there that would give me basically every draft pick in the next 8 years. I would listen, and if a team would do that, then I'd move him. If somebody gave me 9 number 1 picks, or whatever it was, or is it 19, whatever it was, if somebody backs up the Brinks truck and gives me a decent player or 2 and a bunch of draft picks and free agent flexibility, I'd listen. I think LeBron still has remarkable value. Again, it's fork in the road time. I'm not telling you which is right. But I'm telling you the Celtics and the Clippers and the Warriors moved off the All-Stars. Now, they weren't LeBron, but they moved off them. And I think they all won. You have to at least take calls, make visits, and do something in sports that always works. Listen. Just listen. Call, ask, put the phone on speaker, and just listen. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
So, a few other things happened in the NBA last night, aside from Magic.
Couple things.
Walking away. A few other people walked away from the game also. Wade County said goodbye to the legend last night. Flash had his final home game in Miami at American Airlines Arena, and he will play his final NBA game tonight. Let's watch D-Wade say goodbye to the 305.
That was tragic. Let's try it again. Let's do it this way. All right. As simple as this. Wade County, I love you.
It's pretty crazy. This is going to be his last game with Udonis Haslem also.
30 points for Wade.
Yes. A great send-off for Wade. Before the game, they had played a montage with his son. They played a piece that President Barack Obama recorded for him. And then he also gave a speech before the game thanking each of his teammates from this year individually for, kind of going on this ride with them. Obviously, they missed the playoffs, and it's kind of a weird thing to be with a star like Wade on their last year, the farewell tour. So he thanked them all for that. And, pretty decent career Wade's wrapped up.
Well, and he touched a lot of people in that community. And sports does what the government would love to do, but often fails at. It heals the broken and empowers the poor. It changes communities. That's what government's supposed to do, but so often fails. Sports does it a lot.
And that's why it elicits the fierce loyalty that it does for stars and for teams. When you have a star like Wade or like Dirk, we're going to talk about in a second, who's in a community for an extended amount of time and is able to, it doesn't move around, or, nobody counts the short stint in Chicago, whatever, with Wade. Like, it has the years there to actually make an impact and a footprint in the community. It's even that more effective. I mean, we're not going to talk about the Budweiser clip that got us all emotional yesterday. But of all the things that Wade's accomplished, the thing that always sticks out to me the most is that he has the most blocks by a guard in NBA history.
Yeah. Well, he probably plays bigger than any player in league history. Nobody at 6'4" played like 6'9". He plays like a small LeBron. He and LeBron were actually a weird fit because they had the same game. And Wade was like a smaller LeBron. He was just so fit. When you look at LeBron and Wade, you're like, oh, they could have played in the NFL if they wanted to. Like, they're just big, strong, physical, attack the rim. And that's probably why they one of the reasons they get along is they know each other.
Fit together.
Their games their games are kind of replicas to a large degree of each other.
So good years. Sticking with last night, speaking of Dirk, after a season of speculation, he made it official. He is retiring from the NBA. Let's watch his announcement after the Mavs home finale.
As you guys might expect, this was my last home game. I'm trying my yoga breathing, but it's not really working that well. But this is obviously super, super emotional.
A lot of emotions going on yesterday around the NBA.
Yeah, and I hope it's not lost. The Mavericks did a sensational job on that. They did Mark Cuban's crying, and they brought in stars. The closest thing to Dirk is Kevin Durant. He's got a Larry Bird, a Kevin Durant. He's a top 20, 25 player of all time, and known throughout the world in basketball as the nicest guy that's ever played. Like one of the all-time great guys.
Yeah, he's had an incredible career. 21 seasons, all with a single franchise as an NBA record. MVP in 2006. I mean, the game lost two legends. We're seeing an incredible turn in NBA history
Kobe,
right now.
Wade, Dirk. We've lost some.
We're starting to
Yes.
have discussions about LeBron, like not retiring, obviously, but there's a change coming across the NBA right now. So we saw those two legends retire last night. And finally, Russell Wilson recently gave the Seahawks an April 15th deadline to get a new deal done, which has led to some speculation and even trade rumors. And Jack Del Rio appeared on NFL Network this week and poured some gasoline on those rumors. He said, "Don't be surprised if before it's all said and done, when we line up for the season next year, if Russell Wilson isn't quarterbacking somewhere else and the Seahawks haven't gone and gotten a quarterback they think for the future."
Interesting. Jack Del Rio, like Pete Carroll, defensive guy, doesn't want to pay a quarterback $1 zillion. I'm not what I would do, but I'm just saying. By the way, I mentioned 2 months ago, Russell